From the campus of Park Center High School in Brooklyn Park, we proudly continue our coverage of the second annual Park Center Holiday Basketball Showcase. Our second game features the Elk River Elks from the Northwest Suburban Conference and the Eden Prairie Eagles from the Lake Conference. Greetings, everyone. I'm Mike Peden, joined by Tracy Buford. And Tracy, you've seen both of these teams in action, including Elk River last night. A tough loss for the Elks, but they have a lot of players to bounce back, including Abby Scheid. Yes,
it should be an exciting game today. It's really nice because last year was a great tournament, being the first annual. So this year, I think they'll have a nice repeat of great teams performing today.
Despite my presence, this tournament is still going on. I thought they would cancel it after I showed up, but that is not the case. And speaking of Elk River, Abby Scheid is their focal point, but they have some other threats. But most importantly, this is a team that has gradually built themselves to a top 10 contender year in and year out.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, people were asking me where they were ranked. I think people don't realize that they're really in the rankings this year. And Abby, obviously, great player, great role players. They're tough, they're physical. So, yeah, they've made their mark for sure.
Head coach Reed Cowett said this team has a short memory, and that will help them today, coming off a tough loss to Park Center last night. How quickly will bouncing back be influential in this game?
Yeah, I think it's really important for them to realize that, last night's done and over with. They played a great game, came up a little short, but if they can bounce back today, that'll help them the rest of the season.
Eden Prairie at 1-8, and that's not a record you're used to seeing with a Faith Johnson-Patterson coach team, but when you take over a program like EP and you're changing the style, pretty much the whole culture of the program, there can be some growing pains, and that's been very evident so far for the Eagles.
Exactly, and obviously, Coach is Hall of Fame coach. She'll turn them around, and I can tell you from the one game that I saw, which is the one win that they had, you can see that. You can see everything that she's instilling in them, and if you look at their games, they've lost by 2-3 points. So they're right there. I mean, it'll show in the win column pretty soon.
They're akin to the Baltimore Ravens in terms of close games this season, but they do have some players to keep an eye on, including Isabel Levine.
Yes, and she was very good in the game that I saw. So they're fun to watch, and hopefully they can bring that today. And like I said, they're both two great teams. I think it'll be a great matchup.
EP will be looking to bounce back after a tough loss to Champlain Park yesterday. We'll have the starting lineups in a moment. This is the Park Center Holiday Basketball Showcase. Welcome back to Park Center High School. Let's take a look at the starters. For the Eden Prairie Eagles, it's Sophia Hughes, the 6'1 junior forward, Jordan Sheenis, the 5'11 junior guard, Isabel Levine, the 5'6 senior guard, E.C. Obiazor, the 5'9 sophomore forward, and Lindsay Eliason, the 5'9 junior forward. Elk River will start Ava Kramer, the 5'6 junior guard, Kelsey Cox, the 5'10 junior guard, Sydney Wentland, the 6' junior forward, Gabby Hack, the 5'9 junior guard, and Abby Scheid, the 6'3 senior center. Abby Scheid, as you may know, headed to Northwestern next year, so she will join the likes of Nia Coffey. And Northwestern over the years has really become a formidable force in the Big Ten, and so Abby Scheid is going to be going from one top team to another. And for Eden Prairie, this has to be a very challenging time for everyone involved, as we noted in the open. It's not too often you see a 1-8 record for a team led by Faith Johnson-Patterson, but this is not a situation that she had when she took the job at Minneapolis North or at De La Salle when she was able to get a few of her North players to follow her. I mean, this is, for her, virtually a brand new team.
Exactly. Totally starting from scratch for her.
And you talked about their close losses. They lost to one by Minnetonka, 64-63, and the next game had another 1-point loss to Centennial, and they also suffered a 2-point loss to Maple Grove. And they also had a tight one with Orono. Just a lot of top teams that they've been able to hang with. They just can't close it out, and that's going to be something that I imagine they'll have to work on if they want to contend, but that's what we call the growing pains. Elk River wearing the white, Eden Prairie wearing the black. EP will be the home team in this matchup, and we are underway. And Elk River at 5-3. that record a bit misleading as well. Missing the jumper was Abby Scheid, and it will go to Eden Prairie. Elk River's losses came to Hopkins. That was in the Tip-Off Classic. They lost to St. Michael Albertville, the team that isn't afraid to take on anyone these days. And then last night against Park Center, losing on that 3-point game-winning shot from Summer Blakemore. And Reed Cowett wasn't too concerned about that. He said those are good teams that, you learn something even if you don't get the win against them. And Scheid gets the rebound, and at 6'3", she's going to win a few of those battles throughout the season.
Yeah, great way for her to start, Mike, hitting the boards hard.
And Elk River, when I spoke with Reed Cowett, their continuity has been the formula to their rise in the 4A rankings. As they were not a team that used to be up there, but that shot is blocked and was picked up by 34, Lindsay Eliason. And this Eden Prairie team's a bit undersized, but they're showing their grit early, and there's a steal by number 2, Ava Kramer, and she's blocked by Jordan Shyness. Very scrappy start to this one.
Yeah, nice to see both teams getting after it, though.
On the drive and getting the roll is Isabel Levine. Levine averaging 16 points per game, 43% field goal shooter. Scheid, posts up, too high. And a foul away from the ball. Elk River reached in there. The only transfer, so to speak, for Eden Prairie was the coaching staff. Of course, Faith taking the job, and then her husband, naturally, John Patterson. Those two have been together for years, and Lisa Von Steinbergs came back from a one-year hiatus now that she was able to get her daughter into the same program. And actually, her daughter Daria just finished up the JV game, which was a 2-point win for those Eagles. Mm-hmm. Baseline drive, or shot, I should say. That's good for Sophia Hughes, and Eden Prairie off to a 4-0 start. Elk River missed there. That was Gabby Hack on the attempt. Dead ball rebound to the Elks. And the schedule does not get much easier for Eden Prairie. Of course, they face their Lake Conference foes, so you've got Hopkins and Minnetonka to deal with later on. And they also will face St. Michael Albertville. Nice cut. And Elk River's first field goal belongs to Kelsey Cox. Steal by Hack. And that was Hack again on the drive. That's too strong. Jump ball, and Eden Prairie with the possession arrow. I'm curious, how many gray hairs did you grow last night after that heart-wrenching finish?
It was pretty exciting at the end there. It really, Elk River really gave Park Center a game. I mean, they were just feisty, physical. They never gave up, so it was a great game.
Three on the way. It's good. Jordan Shyness. 3 different players have scored for the Eagles already. The high-low play successful. Sydney Whitland with the basket. Eden Prairie left her all alone down there.
They did. A little miscue on defense there.
Levine has it. Tried the bounce pass, and the backdoor play was read well by the Elks. And they'll get the ball on the possession arrow.
Right idea. She just couldn't quite get it there.
Hack out to, Whitland is off to a fast start as she gets the baseline drive. Whitland's feeling it early.
So they thought they'd go back again, try it one more time.
And Cowett had a lot of high praise for his junior class. Scheid gets most of the attention, and Levine is getting the lay-ins down to a tee. This is a very quick start. 9-6 in favor of the Eagles. Wentland, she's the hot hand, and she's 3 for 3.
They just look really confident.
Well, why wouldn't you be? Top 10 the last couple of years. I mean, you've played competitively even in games you haven't won. And that bodes well as they continue their play. And they're in Section 8, so they have a favorable chance to make the state tournament in March.
Right.
Maple Grove could be one team that gets in the way, but Levine behind the back. And the shot from Hughes was strong, and it goes to the Elks. Kramer sees a hole, gets the bank. I'm always fond of players who utilize the backboard.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't see enough of that.
You used it frequently in your playing days, of course, right?
Yes, back in the olden days.
And we have video to prove it.
We're keeping that in the archives, Mike, remember?
Oh, it's still out there. You just have to go through the archives. And Hughes gets the cleanup after the miss. I still have those archives. Most importantly, I don't have that trip of yours. That chance to get a fast break, and who was it? Your opponent from Hutchinson had other ideas.
Right.
Eden Prairie on the fast break, and the block by Hack. Hack going to Scheid. The lob, and Hack can't put it in. The rebound goes to Levine. She pulls up from 14, switch. Levine with a quick 6, and Eden Prairie up 13-10. Well, they've got Levine at 4, I should say.
Both teams really pushing the tempo.
That much is evident as Elk River ties it up with a triple. That was Hack on the three-pointer, and Scheid with the steal. Wentland pump fakes, drives, and scores. Wentland has yet to miss, I believe, 4-5? 4-4, yes.
Yes.
I almost contradicted myself. It wouldn't be the first time. Hannah Kofoot is on the floor for the Eagles, wearing number 31. And that's Scheid with the rejection, but a foul on Elk River. And subs coming in for Elk River now. That is Daniel Lockmiller, 31, and 42, Brittany Plouts. Hughes goes, and the foul, and one for Lindsay Eliason for her first field goal. Eden Prairie seems to be establishing a blistering pace right now, and Elk River's having trouble keeping up. Eliason completes the three-point play. She averages 5.2 a game and a 75% free throw shooter. Eden Prairie reads the entry pass and picks it off. Kira Mosley on the floor for the Eagles, number 24. Eliason, swish. Hack, 15-footer. No bounce, and Kira Mosley with the rebound. And what I'm seeing out of this Eden Prairie team so far is reminiscent of Faith Johnson-Patterson teams.
Yes.
Mosley blocked by Wentland on the three-pointer. Ava Kramer has an open lane to the hoop.
Yeah, I think that's really evident, Mike, the way that they push the ball. They're really up in the tempo.
Traits we saw at Minneapolis North and De La Salle. Jordan Shyness was short on the three and a foul.
The other thing that I love to see on this team is it seems like everyone has a green light. So players are looking to score, and that's really fun to watch.
I suppose with a 1-8 start, you're not going to be too reluctant for someone to step up at this point.
Right.
Britley Plouts has picked up her second personal. And Eliason gets the bounce. Eliason up to 7. Kramer for 3. Bullseye. You knew I had to get that one in at least once.
I was waiting for it.
Mosley had an opening, but goes into Eliason, now back out. Now almost an overpass from Hughes, but Shyness recovers. Now, is that tempo something you noticed in Eden Prairie's win? Because you were at the game for obvious reasons against Park Center. What did you notice? Well, hang on, we've got a 3 on the way. That's short from Hughes. And well, here's Kramer. She's putting on the accelerator, but too strong. What did you notice in that lone victory of theirs?
Yeah, so that's really what they did against Park Center. You know, they really pushed the ball. They really pushed the tempo, just aggressive. I mean, here we go, number 32. She was phenomenal in that game.
Mosley will be called for the over-the-back foul. But that game and just the 4A field in general, really indicative of how wild and unpredictable this 4A field is, because Park Center is the only team to beat St. Michael Albertville so far, and STMA took down Hopkins in stunning fashion.
Yeah, I think it's really up for grabs this year. It's really fun to watch so many talented teams really competing against each other. So,
and that's going to be an offensive foul on Kelsey Cox. And that will be her second. We're tied at 20 with 8:04 to go, and we haven't had too many opportunities to catch our breath here.
It's been fast-paced for sure.
And for a team like Eden Prairie, and we know Faith is very resilient, you don't win 8 state tournament titles, but I think in your 1 year of college, you went through a similar rough patch. I think, 2-22?
That's right, 2-22.
Over at Grandview?
It's rough.
Whitland will be, Whitland drew the foul on Eliason. That's her first. And so when you go through a stretch where you're suffering so many losses, I imagine it's hard because every player wants to win, but how do you keep your composure?
Yeah, I think the difference,
such a treacherous situation.
Right, and for Faith, I mean, she knows she's right there. You know, she knows that she's going to turn that corner. You can see, like we said, they've been in every game. And, you know, as long as you keep the players' confidence, they'll be fine. You know, the W's will start to come.
Jamie Langman passed up a 3, but does draw the foul on EP. And Eden Prairie had a pretty solid reputation with Chris Carr. He got them to a couple of state tournaments. Nice inbound play, and free throws are coming for Daniel Lockmiller. Of course, he had a couple of D1 recruits on that roster, and Jackie Johnson and Shane Mullaney. Lockmiller averaging just 2.6 points per game. 71% free throw shooter. And in terms of perseverance, your eldest daughter might have a few lessons of her own. Cooper, over the last couple of years, is turning into a force to be reckoned with themselves here.
Yeah, they're a really fun young team to watch, too. They're a lot of fun. They're coming along.
And they've got at least one future member on that team in about 15 years.
Yes.
Three ball, missing from the corner was Shyness. And it will stay with EP on the dead ball O board.
But they're really not afraid to shoot the ball. You know, it kind of goes back to what I was saying. It's nice to see them put up because it gives you the opportunity to get the rebound.
Elk River with a 21-20 lead. It's been back and forth throughout the opening half. Hughes with the skip over to Shyness. Now Hughes has it again, just inside the arc. Eliason can't get the bounce, but the follow through, no putback for Mosley. And look at Eliason there. Great recognition, knew she was in the baseline and just bounced it off Wentland to keep possession.
That's great basketball IQ right there.
So a second try for EP. Mosley used the dribble, drives, and is strong. Wentland with the rebound. The high-low, and getting the layup is Jamie Langdon. Eliason, swish. And that was a nice setup by Levine. Looked like she was going to drive, and at the last second pulls the fake.
Yeah, she does a great job dishing the ball. I mean, as a point guard, that's what you need to do. She does a really good job setting her teammates up.
Wentland continues her strong start. She's up to 10. And Levine averages 4 assists per game, so she knows how to find her teammates. Mosley missing the three from the corner. Eliason with the O board. Had a tough shot that went up with it and forces the foul on Wentland, so she'll shoot 2.
If she'd have taken one more dribble, she could have done a reverse layup. She probably could have got it in.
Well, she'll get 2 free throws out of it.
She'll take those 2, I'm sure.
And Eliason, as we noted, 5.2 points per game and 3 assists per game as well. And for a guard, she's a pretty proficient rebounder, 9.7.
That's awesome for a guard position especially.
Wentland thought about the 3, goes cross court. It's a long 2, but it goes in for Danielle Lockmiller. That's her first field goal. She's up to 3. Levine, nice bounce to Mosley, and 1. Levine doing an excellent job finding her teammates in the first half.
Absolutely.
The foul is on Lockmiller, her first. The ref said 2 shots, but it should be, well, did they not count it?
Oh, that's weird. Oh, the ref's correcting him.
I heard 2 shots, it should have been 1.
Yeah, I think the other refs are correcting him. Okay.
So we get that sorted out eventually. Mosley gets on the board. She averages 3.4 a game and just shooting 50% coming into this game, so the Eagles will take that 3-point play, and neither team has really built that much of a lead.
No, it's been really back and forth.
And that's the largest only because Gabby Hack hits the 3-pointer. Neither team is led by more than 4. Levine sees a lane and scores. Well, I guess Levine is just as proficient scoring as she is setting up her teammates. Kramer for the answer. Can't bounce it in. High Karen, but it goes to Levine. She's got a 2-on-1. Has to go off balance. That was a tough shot. And that foul on Eden Prairie. Had the pass been a little more crisp, I think you'd have a layup right there.
Yep. It's always hard to know what to do in that situation.
You always knew what to do, though, right?
Not
At
always.
Highland Park?
Not always. But they're trying to get their teammates involved, you know. She saw the defense coming up, so she thought she'd give it back to her. Right idea.
Scheid, who's been fairly quiet so far for the Elks. Scheid is yet to score, actually. Well, she'll get a chance here. And that's a bit surprising to not see Scheid on the board, considering her numbers. Coming into this game, she was averaging 19 points.
And I think she'll pick it up, Mike, but they're really getting those open looks from the outside, and they're taking advantage.
Eden Prairie calls timeout. Kira Mosley picks up her third personal foul, and Scheid will shoot free throws following the timeout. Even though Scheid hasn't scored yet, Reed Cowett says she's a great teammate, fun to be around, and has learned to become a vocal leader over the years. And everyone at Elk River follows her example. She has a very dedicated work ethic.
Which is great, and obviously that's going to help her out a ton at Northwestern next year, you know, setting her up for a great career there. So it's always great to hear that about a senior.
Just think of the size that's going to be at Northwestern next year.
It's a little
Not to
scary.
say they didn't have it already. You had Maggie Lyons, she's had a great career, and Nia Coffey, I imagine, is going to get a few WNBA looks with the way she's going.
Yep. Yeah, and it's, you know, anytime they stay in the Big Ten, it's fun to watch, you know.
Unless you're a Gophers fan.
Well, that's true.
But you and I those days are long behind us.
Yes, that's right.
Tracy had her eldest daughter was a Gophers alumni, and I graduated from there in 2009, and now we're stuck here. Calling a game together. But what do you make of this event? It's the second year now. It's a three-game affair with 6 teams, and the closest event in the metro area in terms of holiday tournaments. And what do you think? Because 2 years and we seem to get a lot of solid teams. We've got 3 top 10 teams in 4A in the field for this tournament.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. I kind of said in the opening, you know, I think it's going to be a really great tournament for many years to come, and I think that Park Center has been able to attract these big teams, you know, based on their success the last couple years, but obviously they're not afraid to shy away from competition and been able to get some great teams here.
Lockmiller rips away the O-board after Scheid split. She's averaging a double-double, by the way, 19 points, 10 rebounds. And to go off of your point, winning attracts attention. And Park Center has attracted a lot of it with 2 3A titles. They won't be able to defend that this year, as you know, because they're in 4A. Scheid with an opening, but look at the closeout from Hughes. Well, Scheid will just follow her own miss there.
Great finish with the left hand, too.
So Scheid gets her first field goal, and she's a 60% field goal shooter. So if she gets a good look, odds are it's going in.
And I think part of the problem, Mike, is that they're not going to her quick enough. It seems like, you know, they should try to get her the ball a little faster in the possession.
Levine hits the triple.
Both teams shooting really well today.
And to go off your point about Scheid, I wonder if Eden Prairie's agility, wow, they bailed out Lockmiller there with the foul, but I think their agility is helping them get to Scheid quickly enough that she doesn't have a clean look for a pass.
Right. Well, it looks like they did a good job in the scouting report.
Maybe they watched your stream or the Channel 12 stream.
Right. I mean, I think, you know, obviously that's something Faith, I'm sure, does a really good job of preparing her team, getting them ready. They knew what they were up against today.
Lockmiller at the line to shoot 1-1 as both teams are in the bonus now. And a lot of these players, when they're not in practices or games, they're involved in the youth camps that Reed Cowett runs up at Elk River as Lockmiller makes both free throws. And last year, an All-State Academic Silver Award. Nicole Miller on the floor, number 15 for the Eagles. And that's another new player. We'll get her name in a moment, 41. Hannah Kofik on the floor, and Eden Prairie turns it over. 41 is Zoe Hardwick.
She's another one, Mike, who had a great game against Park Center. She really came off the bench and gave them a great boost. She was really strong down low. She can be a great threat off the bench for them.
Elk River with a 4-point lead, 35-31, their largest. Scheid has it. And Eden Prairie, they're focusing their coverage on her. But Wentland has been compensating nicely. She gets the putback. And Elk River takes a 6-point lead. Wentland has 12 points. Levine forced to the outside. Miller will try to reset. Eliason bouncing to Hardwick, and she loses the ball, but it was deflected by Elk River, so it will stay here.
And that's unfortunate because Abby was way away from the basket, and so Zoe would have had a really nice look at the basket. So it's too bad that fumbled out of bounds.
It looked like Elk River got a hand on it, though, to force the deflection.
Yep.
Hardwick bounces around the baseline. Miller fakes the three, has an opening. Scheid closes quickly, but Eliason is there. Eliason and Levine forming quite the tag team here.
Yeah, they're doing a good job finding them.
Lockmiller with the triple. And the Elks build their lead to 7. 40-33. A far cry from the game yesterday with Park Center. Of course, in that one, both teams really had a rough go at it in the first half.
Yeah, it was really slow offensively, that's for sure.
Well, neither team could buy a basket, not even if they gave up their life savings.
No, I think we were 7 minutes into the game and it was 4-2.
That had to have left you rolling your eyes in frustration.
Well, you know, some games go that way.
Eliason, that bounces out, a rare miss from the junior. Elk River could hope for the final shot here with less than 30 seconds. And it looks like that's what they'll do. Kramer finds Scheid. Goes to Whitland. Forces it up on the double team. Scheid tries to get the offensive rebound. Doesn't work. Eden Prairie will hold for the final shot with 10 seconds here. Hardwick can't hit the 15-footer, and Eden Prairie will not have time for a second chance. But quick moving first half, Elk River up 40-33 over Eden Prairie, and you got to give credit to Sydney Wentland and Lockmiller for making up in Scheid's absence.
Absolutely, they're taking advantage of those open looks and they're knocking it down, and that's exactly what you want those players to do.
Eden Prairie off to a quick start. They're getting a lot of help from Levine and Eliason, but what do they need to work on here to try to fight back it?
You know, I think they really need to focus on their defense. I mean, obviously offensive is working for them. They're finding the open player, they're sharing the ball. But on the defensive end, they have too many miscues where they're not talking. They really need to talk more on defense. We saw where we had a couple players slip behind the defense and get wide open looks. And so I really just think they need to tighten that up in the second half.
We'll check first half stats and come back for the second half of this contest. This is the Park Center Holiday Basketball Showcase. Elk River leads 40-33 at halftime. And we resume action here at the Park Center Holiday Basketball Showcase. Mike Peden here with Tracy Buford, and they gave Isabel Levine 9 points, so that's what we'll go with. But the leading scorer for the Eagles is Lindsay Eliason with 12. But it's Elk River with the 40-33 lead, thanks to 12 points from Cindy Wentland and 8 from Danielle Lockmiller, and all. Oh. And all of this with Abby Scheid having just 3 points. So the proverbial belch, if you will, on offense, but it says something when her teammates can step up.
Absolutely, and they've done that today.
That being said, Eden Prairie is a very quick-moving team. In the game against Champlain Park, they had a 2-3 zone early, which kept them in contention. Then they switched to a man defense, and that's when Champlain Park lit them up. They gave up 7 threes in that game. Hughes missing the mid-range J, and the rebound goes to Kelsey Cox. Kramer to Scheid. Almost to travel, but unable to bank it was Hack, and it's picked up by Eliason. Eliason, bounce pass, I should say that was a bounce pass to Eliason from Levine, but it gets picked off. Cox didn't cross the half-court line, now she does. And getting the bounce is Wentland.
And great pass.
She's up to 14 points, and I don't want to say Cox planned that, but kind of backtracking a bit opened things up down low.
Yeah, it sure did, and she really was watching and looking at the floor, which is great, trying to find her teammates who was open.
Another miss, this time from Shyness. And Elk River missing the outlet pass, so Eden Prairie gets a bailout there.
I think they were getting a little too anxious on that one.
So what do you think about the coaching tree that you've established now? Because you've been involved in AAU coaching for some time. Your oldest daughter is now the head coach at Cooper, who we've teased a bit, and of course your youngest is going to be playing at 7 o'clock tonight. Do you realize what you're doing to this community here?
You know what? And I think a lot of people would tell you this, you know, you become basketball families, right? It becomes, you know, really ingrained in you, and, you know, great friends of ours, you know, the Hill family, they're kind of the same way. You know, it really becomes a big part of what you do, and that kind of feeds over into what your kids do.
Levine gets the steal. Oh, she goes back to 31 Cofoot. That works. I'm not sure if that was planned, but Levine maybe didn't like the angle she had, and Cofoot gets the 2.
Well, what a great unselfish play by her. You know, I think she gets a little criticism for being a little too aggressive with the ball on her own sometimes, but boy, she's not showing that today. She's really sharing the ball.
She's proven to be very unselfish and gets the tough shot to fall. Gave up her dribble a little early, but 2 points are 2 points. And Levine is now up to 11. And another steal. It's Levine, one-on-one with Whitland. And one. Levine giving the Eagles a spark.
And this is what we've seen from her when they play Park Center. I mean, this is, you know, dominant, sharing the basketball, just, you know, being a great point guard.
The foul is on Whitland, her second. Levine averaging 16 points per game, 77% free throw shooter, 43% field goal shooter, and as we noted earlier, 4 assists per game. Completes a 3-point play. And it's a 2-point game. We saw this in some context with the Rogers-Champlin Park game. One team builds a lead, the other closes in. Granted, this game has been pretty close. That's going to be a foul on Cofoot for first. But, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, for the most part, it's really interesting because these refs, in my opinion, have really been letting them play so far in this game.
And I don't mind that.
No, I don't either. I certainly don't either.
They're being consistent about it, obviously.
Yes,
but
absolutely.
I don't mind that. Let the players, you know, work through
Yep, I agree.
some of these situations, especially in those 50-50 calls or ones you're not quite sure about.
Yep. I think it's always interesting, you know, who comes out the second half, you know, with that energy, intensity, and...
Well, it's been all Eden Prairie thus far, but a foul inside. It should be a side out.
And who's bringing our team together? You know, it's great leadership to see that.
No, they're going to give a shooting foul here to 32, Gabby Hack. That's interesting. Hack, a very good outside shooter, and for a point guard, a very good rebounder, in the words of Reed Cowett. She misses the front end there, though. And Hack averaging 13.2 points per game, and in rebounds, 6.8. She gets the back end. A very blistering pace, though, and I'm wondering who that's going to favor as this game moves along.
Yeah, usually that comes down to your bench play, right?
Cofoot ties it up with the 3. Speaking of bench players, there's one of them.
Exactly. So it kind of sees who from your bench is going to step up and really give you a spark.
Eden Prairie throws it away. I should say Elk River throws it away. That's what happens when you have alliterative names here.
Right.
Elk River, Elks, Eden Prairie Eagles. Too much alliteration for me.
Right.
Elk River's going to call a timeout to sort things out. A 10-3 run to start the second half by Eden Prairie, and we're tied up again at 43.
So it makes you wonder, Mike, what did Coach Johnson have to tell them at halftime? They really came out with a lot of intensity, a lot of energy, which is great to see, and I think that took Elk River a little by surprise.
You never know what to expect out of a Faith Johnson-Patterson team, and I say that as a compliment because they're always going to be tough. And for Faith herself, I mean, this has to be cathartic for her because she missed most of last year due to a series of back ailments. She had to take surgery and missed a good chunk of last season. So John Patterson took over in the interim, and not surprisingly, she really was bummed that she wasn't able to be on the floor with her teammates at De La Salle. And we're going to be on social media here. That's Abe getting a picture for his keepsakes. Of course, Abe and I work together with Minnesota Lynx coverage. And both of us got a good dose of champagne back in October. I had to take a shower when I got home. Let's put it that. That's how much champagne got dumped on me. I didn't wear this. It's a good thing I didn't wear this suit. A lot of Lynx fans, of course, over the years, thanks to those 3 titles. Backdoor pass deflected. Levine comes from nowhere, and she'll at least get 2 free throws. The foul, I believe, will go against Scheid. Yes, it will. That's her second.
And we might not have the best angle from up here, Mike, but man, it didn't even look like she touched her on that one.
Well, Levine was coming from behind, so as you noted, a very tough angle to really see.
One shot.
And when things happen so quickly, and you've been around basketball to know that it does, the naked eye can be very deceiving.
Absolutely. And even depending on where you are watching the game, I know a lot of people might not think about that, but
getting the bounce is Jamie Langben. That will tie it up at 45. Levine to Kofoot. Well, this Eden Prairie team has proved, even if the wins haven't come along with it, they cannot be a team you sleep on throughout the season. They could sneak their way into the state if they keep this up, but they turn it over here.
Well, and I think there you saw Elk River realizing what they did so well in the first half and kind of reading that pass.
3 on the way. Got it. Gabby Haddock with her 3rd triple. And she's up to 10. And the net needs to be adjusted. So quick stoppage in play here with 12:28 left. I don't know where, but some fan just said that's why you're an official. He missed the... He was hoping to put it in to loosen the net up, and it did so anyway. And some fan goes, that's why you're an official. Actually, a lot of these officials were former players.
Yes.
And they take it up to be a part of the game.
Great pass.
Oh, Eliason missed an easy basket.
Okay, and as great as she is, Mike, I have to give her some slack because if she would have attempted that with her left hand, it probably would have went in.
Well, even the best make miscues on occasion. Scheid misses a close range shot. You don't see that often. Hughes used up the dribble, and that was last touched by Ava Kramer. Oh, the entry pass from the inbound. I'm not sure what happened there, but she threw it into a couple of white jerseys.
Yeah, unfortunately not a great decision there. She was triple teamed, so she should have actually went cross court. She had a teammate wide open.
Look out. Eden Prairie responds though with the steal by Hughes, but she collides with Jamie Langben. And Langben took a hit to the face, and she will go to the bench to be evaluated.
Nice response from the home trainer here, getting over there.
Langben averaging 6 points per game and 2.8 rebounds per game. 51% field goal shooter as they take a look.
So this reminds me, I'm trying to remember what game we were at, Mike, earlier this year. It actually was Jada who got hit in the nose, and her nose was bleeding, and it literally took like 20 minutes for them to get a couple drops of blood off the floor. So
I don't know if I was at that one. I know there was a similar delay at a game I called at Hamlin with Como Park and Providence.
Okay, it wasn't here at Park Center. I am trying to remember where
well, the
it
games,
was.
I've been here for the Como Park game and the Maple Grove game. But I know Michaela Van Net's taken a few bruises and cuts. She's had to get stitched up quite a bit. I don't remember. It might have been, maybe it was the STMA game at the tip-off.
No.
I didn't even know she was hitting the nose. Levine sees a hole and almost puts it in. She had to weave through a lot of traffic. Here is Lockmiller for the deuce.
Nice finish.
Elk River scored 48 points in their entire game yesterday with Park Center. They're up to 50 now with a 5-point lead. In a game that is very brisk. Kramer with the steal. She's all alone. Goodbye. And Faye Johnson-Patterson's seen enough. Ava Kramer averaging 10 points per game. Just 1.5 steals, but Elk River's defense as a whole has been pretty astute.
Yeah, I was going to say that's where you really see the toughness and grit come out through Elk River. They're just not going to stop playing. So they really made a little comeback of their own.
52-45, Elk River leads. And we were talking about Jada, and of course, I think with any parent, when you see your kids grow, it's, you wonder where the time has gone. But to see your youngest now in her teenage years, playing varsity, just what is that like, kind of going through the whole high school experience again?
Yeah, it makes me feel really old, Mike. You always remind me of that. No. Yeah, she'll be 16 next week, so it's kind of amazing to think that, you know, your baby is about to be 16, but...
Have you given her driving lessons yet?
No, not yet.
You're waiting on that, or?
Yeah, we're keeping that at bay as long as possible.
I don't like the sound of that.
Except when she can drive herself to practice and, you know, but of course during the summer I'm there anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Well, if you think this is insufferable, you should see the conversations I have with Abe at Lynx games. I'll never forget when I dropped a few Tom Petty references. And I think he wanted to disassociate himself with in any capacity with me at that point. We have a lot of fun here. So let's see how Eden Prairie responds. I'm sure they'd like to get back to how they started in the second half, but how do they contain this Elk River pressure?
Yeah, I think they just need to be patient, you know, do it. Oh, they need to see the floor.
Kofoot, elbow J, that's strong. And the rebound by Lockmiller. Lockmiller's been very strong off the bench.
Yeah, which again we talked about, you know, the roles that you need from your key bench players.
Especially in a fast-paced game like this.
Nice pass.
And we've got a tie-up. Elk River with the arrow, but Hughes and Scheid tango there. And we're going to see Kira Mosley back on the floor for the Eagles. 9:46 to go in the second half. Scheid to Lockmiller. And on the drive is Hack. And she comes up short. Good defense on the interior by Eden Prairie. Hughes goes up. And nice job by Wentland to force her a course correction. Kramer Hughes almost had the block, but she'll be called for the foul. Ava Kramer with her first trip to the free throw line. Kramer, 63% free throw shooter.
If I had to guess, I would say coach is telling her she should have passed the ball that last time down.
That's the third personal on Hughes, and even if Kramer's not the most offensive-minded player, Reed Cowick considers her the most tenacious defender on Elk River's team. And having a defensive stopper is not always a bad thing. I mean, sure, everyone wants to score points, but, well, you have an example of that with Fishayo Ayopamidele.
Yes. Yep, you got to have that person who can, defend that best player.
And on cue, Ava Kramer with the steal and another run out.
She does a great job anticipating the pass.
Elk River with their largest lead of the game at 10 with 8 minutes and 50 seconds to go. Kickball. And for the most part, we talk about Elk River's defense. They've done a great job keeping the scoring down to 2 players, Levine and Eliason. Everyone else has been struggling. Mostly missing the triple. Here's Kramer again. She's got a burst of speed, but backs off. Didn't have a lane, so wise move there. Missing was 42 Brittany Plotz. And what do you think this kind of game would say about Elk River, where Scheid scores 3 points and Elk River has been, for the most part, in control of this game?
Yeah, it's really surprising. I think if you told anybody that, they wouldn't believe you.
I've seen how many examples of that just in the prep season. That doesn't even count Game 5 of the WNBA Finals back in October. As Levine pulls up from 17, it is strong.
So here's a problem Eden Prairie's having right now is that they're one and done. They're taking a shot, we're not getting the rebound. They really need to hit the boards.
Kramer with a bit of a push off. That's enough to fire, but she misses. Levine, she's got a lane. Spins by Kramer, but Kramer did a good job to stop her in her tracks. That might have been a layup otherwise. Kofoot, no three-pointer. Eliason is there. Another try for Eden Prairie. And I'm not sure where that bounce pass was going, but the Eagles turn it over. Another timeout for Faith Johnson-Patterson. 7:43 to go.
So Eden Prairie kind of got away from what was working for them in the first half. Levine really taking control, sharing the basketball. They really shied away from that in the second half here. And I think that Coach Faith is really going to tell them to settle down a little bit. Let's get back in control. Let's try to share the ball.
So examples of top scorers who go quiet but still lead their team to victory. I mentioned Game 5 of the WNBA Finals because that's when Maya Moore scored 5 points and the Lynx ended up running away in that one.
Yep.
More recently, Como and Kennedy, Andrea Adams was held scoreless in the first half of that game. Looked like she was going to finish with 2 points, ends up making 10 straight free throws, but the Cougars still win that game. And here Elk River is with Abby Scheid scoring just 3 points, and they have a 10-point lead.
Well, and as great of a player as Abby is, it just goes to show you that basketball is a team sport. Other players can really step up and really do what they need to do when they have to, and I think that's really showed for Elk River today. And they have great shooters.
And if you're wondering, they did not have any conceited or egotistical viewings as they draw the foul. They did not have any sort of big head about facing Eden Prairie. They were not worried about records, as they knew Eden Prairie was a tough team coming into this. And so right away, just that attitude that we're not going to look past this team just because they only have 1 win,
right,
I think has bled into their effort today.
Yep, and I think that's smart for anybody.
Offensive foul on the Elks.
So that's smart for any team taking out Eden Prairie, because anybody who knows basketball, they know that they're still a tough team regardless of what their record shows.
Yeah, there are some teams that aren't at the same caliber that the top teams are, but Eden Prairie is certainly one of those teams where the record is deceiving.
Absolutely.
Jump ball. Eden Prairie with the error.
Now there's a good example, Mike, when in any other game I've seen that would have been a foul. You know, they're really letting them play aggressive, which, like we said before, isn't necessarily a bad thing. You just don't see it that often.
As long as you don't let it get out of control.
Right.
But that doesn't happen too often in girls basketball. Now, Eden Prairie did not have possession. Well, they turn it over anyway. Well, Biozer lost the handle, and missing the inbound pass just messed her up for the whole sequence. And I've often said in basketball, one little slip-up can screw up an entire play.
Yes.
But Elk River's attitude, not taking any team lightly, that starts with their practices. As Hack goes up, gets a second try, unsuccessful. Eliason has it. Eden Prairie needs to find a spark here, and they're not getting it. Scheid is missing the triple. And Elk River wins the battle for the rebound, but they throw it away. Levine was blocked by Hack, and that's off of Elk River. Nice recovery by Hack after throwing it away there. But in practice, Cowett said the Elk River team very competitive. They get after it. And he noted that practices after a loss, today was not an example because of a back-to-back, but he said generally after a loss, this team responds well in practice and in games. That's going to be a foul on Eliason. And free throws coming for Wentland. Shinnis actually drew the foul. That will be your first. Wentland, a 76% free throw shooter. 7.6 points per game. 5.2 rebound. And 44% from the floor. But she misses both here, and Elk River will hang on to it. So Elk River with some chances to close out here, but both teams struggling a bit on offense in the second half.
Yeah, got a little sloppy here the last few minutes. Well, we've gone a pretty long stretch where we haven't scored.
That drought will continue. Scheid can't get the answer, and Kofoot has the rebound. And you wonder if this swift tempo is starting to wear down both teams.
Well, usually you see that at the end of the game, right? Such a fast tempo.
We're at 5:42 left.
Yep.
That's traveling, carrying. Turnover either way.
Especially teams that normally aren't used to playing at such a high tempo. And you really see that especially in the missed shots. You know, the legs start to wear down, and your shot quite isn't where it was at the beginning of the game.
And there are some teams that can go at it for a full 36, Maranatha being one of them. And an offensive foul on Wentland, that's her third. Como Park, another team that is athletic enough to go for long periods, but you have two contrasting tempos. Elk River will be playing a slower paced game, as you noted yesterday at the Park Center. Now you're playing a team that wants to attack you at every possession.
Right. And you know, it's really pretty smart from a coaching perspective, and it's not surprising coming from Faith that she would say, hey, you know what, we're going to really push the tempo at you.
Eliason missing another short-range shot, and Wentland comes up clutch again.
But I think the size and strength of Elk River is really giving them a problem today. Despite the fact that their star player has 3 points, as we mentioned.
Hasn't been a problem, though. Miller bouncing to Eliason, and she's fouled. Well, it hasn't been an issue because Looking at the other scores here, Wentland with 16 points, Kramer with 12, Lockmiller and Hack have 10.
Right, so we're looking at the scoreboard, and we have 3 players in double figures, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and I've got 4 altogether, and that's more than compensated for Scheid's absence in scoring. Eliason gets the back end, but EP's going to need more than that if they want to come back here with 4.5 to go. Scheid gets her first field goal in the second half on the fast break play. And that might be enough for Elk River here as they have a 13-point lead. But we'll see.
Well, and I think they're trying to do the right thing by pressing and
that's been a killer for Eden Prairie today, missing the 3-pointers.
Well, I think they're kind of settling, too, for the 3, right? You know, anytime you're behind, you really want to get that 3-point shot going, but...
Count the basket as Scheid goes high-low with Gabby Hack.
And again, just a mismatch when you're looking at the strength. You know,
another timeout by Eden Prairie.
Yeah.
Go ahead and finish that point.
No, I was just going to say, you know, Elk River is such a strong team. Even they're big, yes, but they play strong. Even their smaller players, you know, play really tough. And that's almost impossible for some of the smaller players from Eden Prairie to really guard them.
So if the score holds, Elk River will bounce back quickly. And over the years, they've been very competitive in their conference. They've had a lot of close games at Park Center. The one thing they've lacked at this point, a state tournament appearance. This could be the year where that changes, but what's your impression out of the Elks here in these couple of games, and where do you think they can go moving forward?
Yeah, I think they have a lot of potential this year. Obviously, if we look at this game today and look at how many players we have in double figures, and you know, now let's say Abby comes out with a great game and you just add to that. I mean, they can be unstoppable at times if you look at, you know, them really getting into the flow and getting things going. I mean, they're that tough. You know, they're relentless. They don't give up. You know, they're just, I don't know how else to describe them, but being such a tough team. And that's honestly something that you really can't teach. You know, these kids, they really have that toughness, and I think that can take them really far this year.
Well, these Elk River will meet up with your Park Center team again on February 8th. And after this, it's Northwest Suburban teams until the end of the season, with the exception of Minnetonka, who will be playing tonight. Hack misses the 3-point play, but an offensive rebound by the Elks. And Minnetonka, you'll be seeing them twice, and both meetings will be right here. Scheid can't get the bounce. And Eden Prairie, they get a fast break play in for Jordan Sheenis, and she's up to 7. And that's the first basket in some time for the Eagles.
Yes.
Well, the officials really letting them play there. No foul on Levine, and Scheid gets the layup. I've got her at 7. Levine goes out to Eliason. Levine, she's really unselfish, I'll say that, although there have been a couple of plays here where perhaps she should take it herself, but that's just me.
Well, in that play,
nice backdoor to Scheid for the deuce.
That's really what was working from them. I mean, Levine to Eliason in the first half, I mean, that worked really well for them, and I appreciate the fact that they were trying to go back to that. Eliason's shot just isn't quite dropping, and she returns a favor.
Won't be enough time, though, for the Eagles to respond. But a strong game from Elk River, and for a team that has been on the cusp of validating themselves in the eyes of the casual followers in prep basketball. Scheid goes to the line. The progress they've made over the years, as this was a team that was kind of buried in the second-tier grouping in 4A. And to see what they've done in the last few years, thanks to folks like Abby Scheid and Gabby Hack, and Langben, who we've seen a lot of today. Langben and Scheid are 4-year members of varsity, and the junior players have been there for 3 years. All the continuity is now producing some high-octane results for the Elks.
Right. I think it really shows, you know, when players have been playing for a while together, they have that varsity experience. Now you see the finishing product.
And that's a far cry from, well, you've been at a lot of state tournaments at Highland Park when you were playing and through your offspring. Kiara Buford at St. Paul Central, that was a team that had to adapt so many talented players all coming together for, I imagine, a shot at state. They ended up getting 2 out of it. And then at Park Center, where your other daughter's playing, kind of building from the core that was established by Caleb McMorris and McKenna DuBois.
Yep. And then do the same
and relaying that for 2 titles there.
Right. The same holds true, right, for these Park Center kids. I mean, they've been in the Brooklyn Park program since, I think, 2nd grade. You know, they've all been playing together, of course, except mine. But the majority of them obviously have been playing together, and it shows. It shows how they play on the court.
Where's your support for the program?
Well, you know, I'm a St. Paulite. What can I say?
What are you doing here?
No, I'm totally vested in Brooklyn Park, right?
But as you've seen, you have a lot of examples to prove this. There is no one way to win state.
Correct. Yeah, the one thing that you can say is that you need to play as a team. Bottom line, you know, regardless of your talent, what you have, that's kind of what it comes down to.
I will say the gradual approach, the slow but steady, teams that like Elk River and Orono was the same. I almost would argue that's the harder path to accomplish, because in an era where some folks look for the instant gratification, you might be tempted to go to Hopkins or even Central for those couple of years. Schools where you have a chance to get noticed right away. And that's not always the case, but you know, to see a team like Elk River, Park Center is another example. We mentioned Orono, a lot of these other schools that decided to adopt a long-term project and reap the rewards they are now. That says a lot about perseverance and determination.
Right.
As Blotz gets her first field goal. Less than a minute now, Elk River will get back to the winning track as Levine hits the 3-pointer. So Elk River will go to 6-3, end their 2-game losing skid, and Eden Prairie will try again, and it doesn't get any easier for them. Their next game is against Shakopee, another top 10 team in 4A.
And you know, unfortunately, Eden Prairie is going to have to take these bumps and bruises right now, but it's really going to pay off for them.
Well, not even Faith Johnson-Patterson could win state every year. There were a few years where she came up short, including her last year at North, her first year at De La Salle. So she's used to it, that games don't always go your way, but it's about resilience, and I'm sure they'll continue that path.
Yep. Oh, yeah, they'll definitely build off of this, you know, look at the little things that they can do better. They obviously have a great group of girls, you know. They're very talented.
And for Elk River, this can only be encouraging and optimistic for their morale. Abby Scheid isn't very active tonight on the offensive end, but everyone else chipped in, and it's another routine win for them, even though it was anything but.
Right, and the thing, too, that, you know, about Abby that you have to understand is that they paid a lot of attention to her. So even though she, you know, had a little bit of an off night, it allowed her teammates to be more open and, you know, thus giving them the opportunity to knock down those shots. So
well, she has the attitude of always wanting to be better, and that certainly has spread to her teammates as Elk River gets a 69-53 win over Eden Prairie. And how about the game from Sydney Whitland and company? That was impressive.
Very impressive. Yep, they shot the ball really well. Just, you know, feisty, aggressive. They were fun to watch, and this is going to be a great springboard for them.
So we'll try to get a word with a couple of the Elk River players before we wrap things up and go to your game tonight. You'll be in the stands cheering on your daughter as Park Center takes on Minnetonka. But right now, Elk River will celebrate a 69-53 win in the second annual Park Center Holiday Basketball Showcase. And I'm joined by Ava Kramer and Cindy Wentland of the Elk River Elks. Yes, get excited. Actually, you bounced back, and if you had told me that Abby Scheid wasn't going to get things going until late and you get a 16-point win, that might be hard to believe, but teamwork really paid off today.
Mm-hmm. It did. Yeah. It did.
So how did you step up in Scheid's absence, so to speak?
She's usually carries us a lot and does very well, but when she doesn't, we have to all come together and do good as a team, and I think we did that good.
Well, you seem to have the steal and run-out play down to perfection today, and so just tell me, what kind of energy do you like to bring on defense, and how were you able to get so many stops and run-outs today?
I like to just kind of freak them out a bit and just get everything.
You are freakishly fast.
Thanks. Yeah, I like to get after it. It's fun to do that.
And how quickly did you guys recover from that tough game with Park Center yesterday? 2-point loss, came down to the last play, and here you are with a convincing win over Eden Prairie.
The loss last night was rough, and I think we all were kind of bummed about that one. But Coach told us that we would have to just kind of brush it off and then go into this game and win it, and that's what we did.
Now, Sydney, I'm told that you guys are very competitive in practice and like to go after it, so how much does Ava freak you guys out in those practices?
You know, she gets after it every practice, and she does freak us out quite a bit because she's really fast.
Do you know how many times you've been startled by her specifically?
You know, I don't know off the top of my head, probably a lot.
Do you have some sort of plan to get revenge down the road?
Nah, it was my teammate. I would never get revenge on her.
But you stepped up in a big way when Abby was struggling early, and you finished with 16, I believe. So what led into your performance today?
You know, I just saw it, and they gave me open looks, so I took them. It was there, so I went after it.
And what does it mean to be a part of this team? They've gradually built themselves to a top 10 contender every season. What does it mean to be a part of that project?
You know, it's really awesome. It's just our, we're just a family, and it's awesome to be a part of.
And as you saw, Eden Prairie came out with a very fast tempo, so how were you able to adapt and keep up with them throughout this game?
We knew they were going to be fast. Our coach told us that right from the start, so we just headhunted and got after it right away. We were ready.
And for both of you, part of the reason you're at where you're at now is the continuity that's been established. You know, Scheid has been here for 4 years. The juniors have been here for 3 years. So just tell me, how strong is the team chemistry, and how does that continuity play into your success?
I think our team chemistry is really good. I think we all are just really close.
Even with the little fans over here?
Yeah, we're really close, and it's really fun to have a close team.
I suppose you need that since you freak everybody out. It's good to have that support there.
Yeah, yeah, it's fun.
You have some very resilient friends.
Yeah.
And what about you, Sydney? Why do you think this team is so continuous, so to speak?
Well, we've been together from the start, and I don't know, we're all just best friends, and we're all so close that it works. You can see it on the court, we just connect.
So where do you go from here?
Win. More.
Yeah.
Win more? I suppose you'd like to do that. You get a rematch with Park Center. You've got the Northwest Suburban. And anyone else you want to say hi to that will be watching this?
Hi, people.
Hi, people.
All people.
Not just Elk River, everybody.
Nope. Yep, everyone.
Who do you like to say hi to, Sydney?
My mom and dad. Yep.
Well, Ava, I guess if you freak anyone out and they come after you, just make sure you can outrun them.
Okay. Sounds good.
Congratulations on the win, and perhaps we'll see you at state in March.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was Ava Kramer and Cindy Wentland from Elk River. That wraps up Game 2 of the Holiday Basketball Showcase from Park Center. We'll be back for one more game, but until then, I'm Mike Peden. Thank you for watching.